Good morning, everybody. So, today's lesson is on ICT, and this is the fifth paper. Okay, HC5 ICT in education. Okay, this is very important and it is only for 50 marks, and you have to write only 2 hours, 1.5 hours. Okay, 10:30 to 12 o'clock. The paper is for 10:30 to 12 o'clock, and very important paper and very easy paper. You can score 50 out of 50. Okay, you can score more marks. And one more thing, very important question is communication. In this, in ICT, without a question from communication, there will not be any question paper. So please go through what is communication. Before that, we'll go through what is computer. Okay, so first beginning you should give some introduction about computer. See how the evaluation of computer started way back in the late 1930s, and the first it was known as abacus. Okay, now everybody knows that, and also it has been classified into 5 generations. So you have to write little bit about that and their generations. Okay, so what are the uses of the computer, what is the purpose, what is the main purpose of ICT in education, that is very important. So first generation computers were the vacuum tube, and the second generation transistors, third generation, fourth generation, and in fifth generation only this present and future. Okay, so this fifth generation computers are based on artificial intelligence. Okay, so example we can give it like a robot, all those things. Okay, so please study this. Okay, you should at least write few points, 4 to 5 points about that. And the characteristics of the computer, you know about the speed. Okay, because it perform the calculation at a very fast speed. Okay, then the accuracy, we can believe that, we can say that there is no error or mistake. Okay, if a computer does a work, there will not be any mistake. Yes or no? Then the storage, we can store as much as we can the data. Okay, and the information, and the diligence, and what are the things you can write. Okay, so even if you are writing this few characteristics, you can also, maybe you can, if you want to write the limitations, you can write. Okay, computer can't decide, computer can't think, computer can't express ideas, all these are the limitations. Okay, if you want to write. Okay, so then where are the this computer applications in various science research, educations, business applications, banking, where are the usages of computers? So what are the places where all you can see computers? Okay, nowadays everywhere you can see computers. Okay, the usage of computers in all the departments. Okay, so that one, it is all no need, but if you want to express few points regarding computer, maybe some questions like compare the older generations with the fifth generation, like that, if at all they ask, you can write all those things. Okay, so the for that reason, coming to the important question in ICT, the first main important question that you have to study, you have to memorize, is communication. So communication question is very important. So you should know that it is communication means it is transferring some ideas or thought or opinion, whatever it is. Okay, you transfer that. Okay, you are communicating that to the other person. Okay, that is the main meaning of communication. So now you can write who and all have defined communication. So when you write a question, you should write it in a such a way, not in a hurry. Make it very simple, and also make the answer paper to be more colorful. Write neatly. First, always when you start with the answer, you make an introduction on your own. You give some introduction of recent ideas about that questions. Okay, see, for example, communication. See, give an introduction. See, human beings communicate, or not only human beings, even the animals communicate, birds communicate. Okay, so how much it is important, like that you would write one or two sentence about that. Then the meaning of communication, then comes the definitions of communications. Okay, so definitions of communication, who are the important persons, so which is very important, and also very simple way of explaining this communications. Okay, which you can easily memorize. Okay, so you can even talk about Aristotle, how Aristotle has defined communication. He and which is very easy. Maximum you can explain 2 to 3 definitions of communications. Okay, so characteristics of communication is not that much important, but still, if you know about that, it is useful for you to explain some more points. Okay, so communication means what, whether we communicate through what to tell, any message or ideas or concept, like that you can explain. Okay, and also it is a two-way process. Okay, not a so communications can be two-way process. It can be written or oral, whatever it is. So you can explain this points also, characteristics of communications, and how you receive back, what is the feedback of that also you should explain. Then communication cycle, this everybody knows, from 8th standard we are studying this. So please remember the sender, message, encoding, channel, and the medium, and the receiver, and what is the response. All this you have to explain. Sender means who is sending the message. Okay, what purpose, all these things you can explain. Okay, to communication cycle. So you can even draw this, how to explain this one. Sender, what is the message they are sending, how it is decoding, then through the channel, then how they receive the feedback, and then decoding the receiver. All these things you should write. So here we have two types of communication, verbal and non-verbal communication. So in types of communication, mainly they will ask about the types of communication. First question, types of communication, and the second one is barriers. Very very important. Even when I wrote my exam, they asked the barrier question only, then the types of communication. So better you can study both types of communication and barriers. Okay, so coming to the types of communications, we have verbal communication, non-verbal communication. In verbal communication, it is done through the oral explanations. Through orally we narrate, or we say them message. Okay, so this is verbal communication. And non-verbal communication, we communicate through our gestures. Sometimes we wink our eyes, we without opening our mouth, we give some signals. So all these are called as non-verbal communication. In this, symbols, gesture and signals, there are different types, which you have to read all these points in communications, types of communication. And there is a big difference between verbal communication and non-verbal communication. See, verbal communications is done through orally, and non-verbal communication, it is communicating through symbols, feelings and gestures. And the second one is internal, it is related to internal stimulation, and non-verbal communication is related to external communication. So in verbal it promotes thinking ability, and here it develops observation skills. Okay, because if you think only you can tell, so that is verbal communication. Non-verbal communication, you can even just observe what is going on and we can tell that. Okay, so in verbal it includes listening skills, and in non-verbal communication it includes visual skills. Okay, then the teacher express the idea through narration, oral explanation, comparisons and correlations, and teacher express ideas through symbols, signals, gesture, facial expression and body language in non-verbal communication. So here more of oral, mouth, audio, all this you should write, and here more of eyes, visual, only seeing. Okay, so these are the things that you can write, explain. Okay, physical and verbal and non-verbal communications. Then comes to the barriers of communication, very important questions. So here we have physical barriers and barriers, language barriers, but here it is defined as only two. You can put it under two main subheadings, or you can write even as you wish, like this how I have given the notes. But this question is very important. So here in physical barriers you can write about improper seating arrangements, increased size of the class, and lack of ventilation, noise surrounding the classroom. These are the barriers. How the teacher cannot see if the students is not performing well or students is not understanding the concept, then these are the factors that hindering the communication, barriers of communication, that the students cannot understand the concepts. Okay, then the human factors, that is internal barriers, that is lack of communication, lack of knowledge, lack of attitude, and the social factors. Here I have given physical barriers, language barriers, background barriers, psychological barriers. This is very important. You can write like this, which I have given, like this notes you can write. And also you should write about the role of a teacher. Okay, how to overcome these barriers, okay, in the classroom. This one is very important. So kindly study, go through this. So you should write, finally you should give what are the barriers and how you can overcome this. Okay, so this is only important. So in the next class I will start with what is internet, and now for this for now this is enough till this. Okay, please take a screenshot, or if you want to take notes you can take it and write it. Okay, thank you so much.